Hi YouTube, it's me John Avenger once again and welcome back to Caucasian Movie Month. And boy do I have a good one for you guys today. I have a 1987 John Hughes comedy, may he rest in peace. Also one of the stars in this movie, may he rest in peace, is John Candy. It's a holiday Thanksgiving classic, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the Those Aren't Pillows edition. I'll get to that. This is one of the funniest John Hughes movies before Home Alone came out. I saw this movie a couple years ago, in the summer of like 2015, and it's really really hilarious. Like it's one of the best scripts I've ever heard from the '80s. It's got a great soundtrack. Two of the best leads together in one movie. In a John Hughes movie, you got John Candy, may he rest in peace, and you got Steve freaking Martin. And you know what the weird thing is? This movie in the U.S., this movie got an R rating only because of the airport scene where the car rental scene where Steve Martin says 17 fucks in the movie. That's the only reason this got an R, because this movie isn't violent. There's no nudity in the film. There's no sexuality. Like there's none of that. There's sexual jokes, but it's not like it's basically stuff you've heard on Rick and Morty between two guys. But this movie is hilarious. Basically, the premise is, if you haven't seen this movie, all you millennials that weren't born when this came out, I was a little kid, so Steve Martin and John Candy star in John Chu's classic tale of a holiday travel gone awry. Neil Page is an uptight advertising executive trying to get home to Chicago from he's in New York and he's in a meeting and he's like, I got to get out of here. I got to catch a plane because it's a few days before Thanksgiving, not Christmas. And when his flight is rerouted to Wichita, he reluctantly partners with Del Griffith, who John Candy steals the movie. Like he is delightful in this movie. He talks a lot, and I love him when he insults him. It's like, boy, you're an ungrateful jackass. Man, I miss John Hughes and John Candy. These two were comedic legends because Hughes wrote and produced and directed that movie. Take that, J.J. Abrams. This is a real writer who can put humor into a movie and not make it forced. Almost every joke in this movie just cracks me up. But anyway, an obnoxious yet lovable salesman. Yeah, John Candy's lovable in this movie. In Due Date, Zach Galifianakis is really annoying. Robert Downey Jr. He's the sensible one in that. Together, they embark on a cross-country adventure that includes various modes of transportation, hilarious mishaps, yeah, unforgettable rental car shenanigans, yeah. That's where the R rating came. In Canada, this is a PG because it feels like one. If you cut that scene out, the 17 f bombs, the movie's basically a PG of the late 80s. Plane, Trains, and Automobiles is a screwball comedy with a heart, definitely, especially the ending, the twist, which I'm not going to spoil here because it's a twist that even Shyamalan would be like, "What? Are you freaking kidding me?" With all new bonus features, yeah, Those Aren't Pillows edition is a perfect holiday treat that lasts all year. Yeah, I watch this every single November, and I laugh my ass off. I can watch this movie right now, and I will laugh my ass off because I'm like, these two have something that a lot of these comedies do not have today: chemistry. Chemistry. Amy Schumer is not John Candy. Freaking not Felicity Jones. Leslie Jones. She can be funny on TV sometimes, but in a movie, she's just loud. You know, that's not funny either. Kevin Hart couldn't wipe the ass of both John Candy and Steve Martin because all he does, he's short and he yells a lot. That's his shtick. When these guys yell, it's hilarious. It's well written dialogue. There's a lot of funny scenes in the movie. You got the scene where they're in bed together and he kisses his ear and he's like, my hands are behind pillows. It's like, those aren't pillows. And he's like, ah. And yeah, a gay joke, but it's not done in your face. It's not. It's hint. It's not because these both of these guys are married in a way, not to each other. Then there's a scene where the car gets set on fire, and they start laughing at it because they were driving the car all the way to Chicago, and the car's just falling apart. They go on the wrong side of the road, and these trucks go like right between. They go between these two trucks, and they turn into skeletons, like in Home Alone 2. And Dell looks like the devil, and he's like ah ha 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 ha. Ha. It's just crazy. And then there's the scene where they go to the diner, and they both get robbed in the hotel room. And he's like, I got $262 there. If I have a penny more, you could call me a thief. And then he checks the wallet and it's empty, and it's like, we've been robbed. And just the shenanigans they get to is just hilarious. There's also a scene. What was another scene? The scene on the bus when they're singing the Flintstone song. Yeah, there's a lot of memorable stuff. This movie's just hilarious. It's 92 minutes. It's not very long. It gets the comedy across. It doesn't get mean spirited, and it doesn't stretch a joke out for 5 minutes. It gets the joke, it lands, and it has a lot of heart to it. And there's another scene. What was another scene? Oh yeah, the scenes where he's selling those shower rings to people because he's like, they need money to get across the town, and and they come up with new ways to make me laugh. There's also the scene. What was another scene that was funny? Trying to remember. Oh yeah, when Steve Martin's trying to catch a cab in New York. Good luck with that because I've lived in New York for a long time. And there's a cool cameo in the movie. I'm gonna spoil it, but basically, you know who takes his cab? Kevin Bacon. I was like, what? Kevin Bacon's in this movie? It's a very short cameo. Like he steals his cab, so he has to get another cab. And John Kent, that's where he meets John Kent. He's like, all right, you son of a bitch. And then John Kent is like, just the reaction shots. Yeah, this movie just makes me laugh so much, man. And John Hughes had a huge thing about Chicago because Home Alone was in Chicago, and I think Uncle Buck was in Chicago. I think he was from there. That's why he does a lot of the movies in Chicago. And basically, yeah, the movie keeps going. The kids in the movie are not annoying. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of people that are in the movie that I like. Who else is in the movie? You have oh yeah, this voice actress Edie McClurg. She's hilarious. She's the car rental lady, and she says you're fucked, and that's great. I just love that hearing her curse in the movie. There's other people in the movie too. I think Dylan Baker. You guys have known him from the Spider-Man movies, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. He was Dr. Connors in Spider-Man 2 and 3. He has a cameo. He plays like a redneck and he spits tobacco. It was kind of gross, but that scene was just, it was cool to see him. And yeah, you have a lot of great songs in the movie. You have The Mess Around. I think it's by not James Brown. It was I think it's like was it Ray Charles? Yeah, it's a really really fun song. It's either him or Stevie Wonder. But yeah, if you want a funny Thanksgiving movie, there's not a lot of them. This is the perfect movie for that. It's funny. These two have great chemistry. They have to tolerate each other and survive each other. Oh yeah, there's a scene in the bathroom where he's taking a shower and he needs a towel and all the towels are on the floor and he uses his underwear to do it. Yeah, it's cheap, but it makes me laugh, man. Just and it's one of the funniest movies of 1987. This was a huge hit. It makes it. He leaves a mark. I never understood why it was R because when I see this movie and I laugh my ass off, I'm like, this movie doesn't feel like an R. Like The Hangover, that feels like an R. Due Date, that feels like an R. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, that feels like an R. This doesn't. And I wonder what I'm eating. I'm eating these mixed planters nuts. Cause I'm nuts. Nah, I'm okay. But yeah, this movie's funny, guys. Trust me on this one. And if you want to see a road trip movie that doesn't suck, especially nowadays with these comedy movies that go nowhere, this is a good one. See Happy Time Murders? You don't have to do a bunch of gross out humor to be funny. This is funny. And it has F bombs, but it's like halfway through the movie. And I could understand Steve Martin's character. He's relatable. He's an everyman. He doesn't pander. And him and John Candy can, I buy them together. This was not like a project that they hated doing. They loved this movie. They loved working on this. And you can tell. I mean, look at Steve Martin's face. The whole movie, he's trying to avoid Dell and keep bumping into him. And there's another scene that Steve Martin almost gets hit by a car, and John Candy is like, "You are an asshole." Yeah, and I like John Candy's voice because he did a lot of voice acting in in the early '90s and the late '80s as well. I always remember him as the voice of Wilbur from the Rescuers Down Under. One of my favorite acting roles that he did. But yeah, this is a good movie, guys. Gender doesn't matter. It matters if the person's funny, and these two are funny together, separately, and John Hughes' script works. This is before he did Home Alone 3, and then his career was never the same. But this is the late '80s. I actually prefer this over like Breakfast Club because it's a good movie. It's just a little over dramatic, and the ending is very rushed. But it's good. But I miss John Hughes. His scripts were actual scripts. It wasn't just improv for 13 minutes of the movie, like half the movie. It's really well written dialogue. And the story is engaging. This film is over 30 years old. It's 31 years old now. And it's hilarious. Like, I could see this in the theater in November and be just laugh my ass off and be like, just that those aren't pillow scene. It's funnier than any gay joke they made in television in the last, or film for the past 10, 15 years. And I'm not bullshitting you. So, yeah, I'm going to watch this movie again soon. It's so funny. And it's amazing that this movie, it doesn't have a commentary. I would have loved to have heard John Hughes' thoughts on making the film and what he had to go through to get Steve Martin and John Candy together in a film that's never got a shitty sequel, never got a remake. The closest was Due Date, but I only like Robert Downey Jr. in that because Zach Galifianakis is so annoying in that movie. He's just like, I gotta throw my father's ashes into the sky or whatever. I'm like, and yeah, no. He's just playing his character from The Hangover again. He's an awkward fat guy with a beard. Again, seen it. But this is better. This is the way you do it. And this is comedy that works. That still works. You don't need fart jokes. You don't need freaking vomit jokes. You don't need period blood jokes. Yeah, I'm looking at you, movie 43. Fuck you. You don't know the first thing about comedy. This does. It doesn't waste a cast. It goes for it. It's funny. Really good acting. Good plot. Good freaking movie. And it's one of the best holiday films that's not a Christmas movie. So, highly recommend this. If you millennials have never seen this, stream it right now. I don't have to wait till Thanksgiving because this is funny all year round. I could watch this in the middle of January and laugh my ass off because it's that good. So that's my review of Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, a true classic of John Hughes' filmography. It still holds up. It's still hilarious. It's still got great lines. And oh, you play with your nuts a lot. That's funny. And yeah, it holds up. It's very, very hilarious and it's lighthearted. For an R rating, it does a lot of things that an R rated movie nowadays wouldn't do. Or even a PG-13 one. So excuse me. But see Planes and Automobiles. It's really good. And it doesn't waste your time with like a 2 hour running time like some comedies. Pace yourself. 90 minutes of laughs, and I'm good. You don't have to stretch it out to an hour and 40, an hour and 50, 2 hours. No. Make me laugh and then end it. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next review.